Welcome to recoverHER, the podcast where your healing journey begins. I'm Heather Novak, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Tracy Oppenheim, a compassionate psychiatrist. Today, we embark on a path of recovery and self-discovery. We are dedicated to inspiring each and every one of you to overcome your struggles and live your best, most fulfilling life. Your recovery starts now, and we're here with you every step of the way.
It's only up from here, 'cause there's no one else that's me.
We're total Midwesterners.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. Like
They
that my
opened
parents
up
let
that
us go.
space for you guys. You have two sisters
And a brother.
and a brother. And your little conviction ass.
So in this like idyllic family life, what was challenging for you though as a kid?
I always felt like my mom was too hard on me. I'm the oldest of four, and I felt like, I think it's probably a lot of oldest kids feel this way, like that you have to do what the babies have to do all the time. And I just felt like I want to be free. I want to go and spread my wings. I was like ready to go to college when I was 10 years old. Like I started a business when I was, I think I was 10 or 11. I started a summer camp business, and I would go to church every weekend, and I handed out permission slips after, like with the bulletins.
Nice.
And I just, get back in there, I'd print them off in the printer.
No way.
And so that's how and then they'd pay me the money, and I took the money and I had my mom drive me to the dollar store, and I bought all the supplies. I ended up doing this business because I could walk to the park. So I didn't need, any additional transportation. So I made all this money. I ended up selling the business when I turned 16 and got a real job. But the point of that story is I always felt like I wasn't given enough space to go and be in Rome. So I was like always trying to make it for myself. And I feel like my parents'
look at now
traditional
today.
roles, because my mom raised the kids and my dad went to work. And I was more like, no, Dad, I need space. And my dad understood me. And but he didn't stand up for me. He let my mom do the raising. And so like I almost like kind of think back on my childhood like with this angsty feeling about my mom, but it shifted recently to my dad. Because I'm like, Dad, you could have done something.
Yes.
You saw me. And I told him this recently. And
How do you
he
receive
apologized.
that? He did?
He said, you're right.
I'm really
And Megan's so,
obsessed with her parents.
I know we need them.
I know.
And
We all need Megan's parents.
adoption. And Megan, so often that you'll hear that in that there will be like one parent, when I'm working with people, there's one parent that oftentimes my patients are talking about, and that's the main focus for so long. And then you'll subtly say, well, where was your dad? Or, oh, no. Everything, he was totally solid. And then after they work through a lot of their things, it's exactly what you just described. There's this recognition that there's some responsibility there too.
Well, and I think I've like been on this journey with that discovery too, because I feel like a lot of the like the patterns that I exhibit kind of go back to quote unquote daddy issues. But I'm like, but my dad's amazing. Like I don't have daddy issues.
Right.
So it forced me to like dig a little deeper into like, well, why is this? Well, I feel like my dad worked all the time because he did. And like he wasn't homeless. So like when I try to get attention from men or attract powerful men, like what do you think that's all about? Like I wanted my dad. I wanted more of my dad. And and I didn't see like a model that could show me that a mother can also be a huge financial provider. I never saw that. Like I only saw like these black and white roles. And I'm like, but wait, my parents created me with the two of them. So like I can't be either one of them all the way.
Right.
I got to figure out like, how do I balance their mixes?
Right?
Yes.
Balance.
Good balance.
Yes, that's such an important word.
We were talking on our earlier this morning about our lives and how they've kind of intersected, and my childhood was so vastly different. I mean, could not be more of a polarity, right? As far as polar opposites of what you experienced. And I just think what you said to me, it gave me tears, and I also had goosebumps thinking about your idyllic family. Can you talk a little bit about that and how it left you feeling today?
Yeah, we were saying, basically, Heather, like how you didn't have, a solid foundation to like ever fall back on.
Right.
So you're trying to figure out
looking.
like, what is my idyllic life? Like, who am I? What do I want? Well, I'm the opposite. Like you
Right.
said, I had this like amazing mother and father, like so much stability in every single way. I never felt rich. I never felt poor. I just felt really good and loved and
That's beautiful.
happy.
It is.
Yes. But then and I see this in this beautiful life that I grew up in. And as now a grown up, I think there's no other way to do it except the way that I had it, because that's the only way I could possibly be happy and perfect is if I just replicate what I had that was happy and perfect. But that's not, I've pigeonholed myself
Yes.
into this box of it's not right for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to break out of that, right? I mean, the rhetorical me doesn't know how to break out of it. Like I'm doing it now with a lot of work.
Of course you are.
But like that was a total mind fuck to want to one day realize like, wait a minute, I can do everything exactly how my parents have, and it's not leading me to happiness.
That's
What the
it.
fuck?
yeah.
That's it.
What the fuck? I don't
And
know.
so that's what I'm searching for now.
Yeah.
I think that there's this idea that is sold to us is if I create this, then that will happen. If it looks this way, then I will feel that way. And it's just simply not true. So it's really like it's such an intentional practice, I think, to look inside of ourselves to what feels good, because so often we can recreate what you just said, what you just described, what you knew, what was familiar to you, and then all of a sudden it's not feeling good, and that's the danger, because what happens so often is when that's not feeling good, rather than saying, oh, well, maybe I need something different, or maybe I need to look elsewhere. What we do is we reject ourselves, and we say there must be something wrong with me because I have everything.
Bingo.
And I don't. What's wrong with me versus, oh, maybe there's something wrong with the patterns,
Right.
That have
This
been sold
path
to me.
yes, exactly. That's, and also like, I think women have an extra layer there too, because we're on a timeline with children that like men just don't have to, hold themselves to that same standard. And so with,
I love what you're saying. So you've just been pretending, playing house.
yes. And so, but I'm chasing the sun.
Yeah,
I do
I
all
needed
these things,
you in
like
my
get married,
life a long
has
time ago.
these kids, and then, oh wait, now what? Like I'm supposed to lay down and die? Like I checked the boxes and you're done? No, like, I'm still empty. Just because I'm a woman doesn't make it mean I'm like a nurturer or something. And that sounds horrible to say, and I am a nurturer and I love my children, but I wasn't like put on this planet to just be a mom.
No.
I know that. But I don't know that I knew that 10 years ago.
Right.
And I think that's a narrative that's been sold to women, and that continues to be sold to women every day, that like you're not a whole woman unless you have, children and do this path. I mean, look at how
Which
we're
is pathetic.
stigmatizing Kamala, and she's for not, having her own biological children. Like, what the fuck is that all about?
Wild.
By the way, like she wouldn't be able to do what she's doing if she had
yes.
children. Like you can't devote that sort of service to your country if you are devoting yourself to raising children.
Yeah,
It's just not. Just fuck you for anyone else.
Totally.
Fuck you for saying anything about a woman and children. Like, keep your hands off my body.
Well, let me do
I
it.
couldn't agree with you more.
Yes.
1,000,000%.
Let me do a little mind fuck with you guys in that just pick like a random day, and as you're going through your day, doing what you're doing, ask yourselves, just stop and really ask yourself, why am I doing this right now? And so often it's automatic. It's just automatic
It is.
patterning.
God, and when you start noticing the automatic patterning, that's a shocker.
I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that.
I know. Varsity level.
Mm-hmm.
And even inside, whether you're just by yourself, even inside of a relationship, like there are these weird expectations, this weird patterning that happens.
I want to do it differently
so quickly. And so Heather has been talking about this idea of, I just want to do things differently. Like I just want to be awake to make conscious choices. And that's what I hear in your story.
I hear it too.
I'm trying. I'm working on it.
We all are
every
trying.
day. I feel so free though now. And, I had a very brief marriage. Did you know this?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. So
Well, only
social media.
Totally.
Yeah, it was on there. I married, it was high profile short marriage because it was President Biden's nephew. And we knew each other for just a few weeks, got married. He was begging me to marry him. And 2 months later, he left.
Okay.
Thank God. And so that was like a 3-month relationship that was turned into an annulment. And I was really shocked. It really it was
shook you.
Why did I do this?
Yeah.
Why did I allow this to
Took you back.
happen? What is going on here?
You do that.
And I said, I was looking for somebody to come in and help me raise these kids because it's hard. And I was not meant to do this by myself. And there's 3 of them and in 18 months and one has disabilities and it's too much. I need help.
A lot.
And so I brought this. So I allowed this man to come in, right? I ignored every red flag under the sun, and I married him after 5 weeks because he was begging me, and it felt safe. And it was a facade, and the hole that was. The crater that was created after he left was way bigger than the one that I allowed him to fill prior to that. And it changed my mindset it allowed me to save my own self and say, Meghan, if you are not able to figure out this really hard parenting situation and this really hard financial situation on your own, you will never invite somebody good into your life. It will just be somebody to fill a hole. It won't be somebody to add value.
That's interesting. A little wordplay just went through my mind of coming from a place of a whole versus wanting to come from a place of wholeness.
Yeah. Yes.
And I love that, we have our lives, right? You, Meghan, I love you so much.
I love you too.
I do. I love you so much. And one of the main reasons is because you've had this extraordinary life. You've really had, and I bet you wouldn't change a whole lot of it.
I have regrets.
Okay. And that's okay. I have regrets too. Right. But you've had this beautiful existence. And you look back at some of those mistakes and regrets and you take personal responsibility.
Oh yeah. Yes,
And
I do that. I do that. Thank you for
often-
noticing. I appreciate
Honey,
that.
no, I love that about you. So many women in particular do not do that. And you, I am not worried about you in the least. I think that we walk this path together. You are your own healer. You're your own financial independence. All of that, you're creating all of that. You are a beautiful mother. You're an incredible friend.
Thank you.
You're a beautiful partner. Somebody is going to come into your life and be so lucky.
I think
so lucky to feel, and it'll be when you least expect it, right?
It'll be when I feel like it'll be when I want it. I just feel like I don't know. I want more control over what happens with me. So even if the perfect person is there, I have to ask myself, well, am I ready for this perfect person?
Right.
Right. Or can we just be peripheral, situationship until maybe the timing works or maybe not. I don't know. It's all about today. And you know what you said to me, Heather, about so many different people. I hope you fall in love so many different times in your life, right?
Right.
Fall
in love many different times throughout your life, and it'll come with whatever package it comes with. Go out and have fun, live life, and play.
And that's so hard to do.
Do all of the things that you're meant to do.
Heart open
For sure.
after you've been hurt and fall in love again.
I know.
And with a different and outside of a previous pattern fall in love.
That's
that
exactly
is bravery.
Exactly.
And,
exactly.
And that is an open heart. And I this is gonna sound potentially strange, but one of my favorite people is Pamela Anderson.
I love.
And it's because she just gets married and married and married and married.
She
And
keeps
she just
trying.
loves love.
She keeps trying.
And it makes me happy. It feels
keeps
good.
trying.
Yeah. And she's like, she's no apologies. You know, she just lives her life for herself.
Yeah. And I see her as being, especially at that stage of her life, this current stage of her life where she's authentic and not wearing any makeup. And she's in her becoming era of the next phase of development, like the second half of her life is where we all are, is empowering. So empowering.
As I'm listening to you two riff, what comes to mind is there's this idea of like fantasy and reality.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, even for myself, I can think back to how often it just felt more comfortable to live in fantasy land, right? Like in that you're creating like this beautiful experience, but it's not real. And really the reality, even though it can be more challenging, that's really where you're going to find your center and really be able to create the life that you want. But so often in dating, you know, back to what you said earlier with your idyllic family life, like in some ways we leave it to beaver shit all the time, right? Like where we're like, oh, it should look like this and I need to have that. And it looks really good, but it can
Then
leave
you
us
wake up
feeling.
and you go, why am I not happy?
Yeah.
When everybody else is, because everybody else is so happy who's doing this. Yes.
Peel away those layers.
I mean, listen, it's
those
Instagram.
masks.
We're describing Instagram right now.
Sure.
We're describing my full-time job for the last 10 years.
And you're a brilliant brander.
Thank you. But also it's kind of a mind fuck because
Absolutely.
here I am promoting something that I'm talking about not doing, right? So I'm an literal influencer. I have 900,000 followers and I'm pushing whatever I am, whatever I decide to put on social media.
So that narrative.
Whatever I decide, which I try to be very
Intentional,
transparent and intentional. But I also think it's like a brain rot to, scroll on and like basically, be a voyeur into other people's lives because you're just hurting your own feelings for no reason.
So true.
You're comparing, like nobody feels better after looking at social media and like, unless you're getting entertained, I guess. But if you're just like keeping up with the Joneses, like that's not going to help anybody.
No.
And so here I am doing this job that I'm also like, I don't want my kids to have this. And I think this is so bad for mental health. And I'm like, what am I doing? It's capitalism.
I had this funny
At its finest.
I had this funny experience on social media. So a really, really good friend of mine I love her so much and I love everything about her journey. And she is at such a beautiful time in her life. So this is someone I'm rooting for, right? Like I want the best for. And I'm scrolling and I'm like, oh shit, there she is looking so beautiful with her like really dynamic, handsome husband. She's finally found this like real love and they're fucking in front of, they're not fucking, but they are, just to clarify, fucking, in front of the Taj Mahal in like the most beautiful picture ever. But what went through my mind was number one, I felt like fired up for her and they looked gorgeous. The image was artistic. Everything about it was great. And then my mind said, well, you haven't been to the Taj Mahal. And then I started going down this path of, why are you not living on this big level? You deserve to celebrate your love in front of the Taj Mahal.
And we fucking love this couple, by the way.
Yes.
And I get it. We were just talking about it last night. But I'm so happy for them. And then we go to, what? Am I missing out on something?
Yeah. And I literally started getting angry at myself about a trip that I haven't taken.
It's crazy making.
Yeah, right?
Wacko.
And this comes from like a good
high
place.
Functioning. Awesome.
I have to go to the Taj Mahal.
All right,
Guess
looks
we're
like
going to the Taj
you're going to
Mahal.
Taj Mahal.
Definitely.
Pack your bags.
We're going.
You got to get the picture.
I want to circle back because you started talking about your experience with your 3 kiddos and how that in a way opened you up to this relationship that was unhealthy because you were in your words trying to bring someone in
to help,
because being a single mom
sucks
and is challenging.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, can you tell us more about that?
I had 3 kids within 18 months with a man who has a lot of money, who I was in love with, my ex-husband. And it never occurred to me that like
you didn't know.
I would have a disabled child, of all, like that would never happen to me. Never.
No.
You know? And also like the thing with having a disabled child, like that you can diagnose, you know, as a little baby. That's like when you know you're dealing with like cerebral palsy, which is what I'm dealing with my son, right? You know that's like a clinical diagnosis. You can see it on an MRI or whatever. But we don't talk about the mental health shit that they could have down the road. Like you don't know what you're going to deal with that. So so I thought like CP was it, right? I thought that was okay. I got this.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Get my
more.
head wrapped around that.
I mean, kids grow up and evolve, and they're their own people. And so, that extra layer of, you know, like just kid stuff, you know, like people growing up and adding, you know, they add like layers to their life, and their experiences shape them. And it's not always, you know, puppies and rainbows. And it's difficult. So yeah, I thought my children deserved a good, loving, present stepfather. And they do. And if that's what I choose to give to them, right? But like, I was just following this path of what I thought, you know, was the only way to happiness, and the only way like to a solid family unit is to like fill that with a stepdad. And it was not the way it I don't think it really did much to them because it was so short. But there was a moment that my daughter, she said, "Don't be mean to my mom." She yelled that. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is my house, my
Kinda
turf,
woke you up.
my baby who's seen something she doesn't like. Who am I? Why did I let it get to this? So that's been like this wild soul journey. My dad sat me down the other day. He came over to my house and unannounced, and he sat me down and he's like, what you are doing isn't working. You are not getting happier, and you are like taking, you know, 2 steps forward and 3 steps backwards. Like, we have got to figure this out, Meg. And I just felt so seen.
Fuck. I love that so
What do you
much.
think he was noticing? What was he seeing?
Well, I think probably depression of some level, anxiety or depression. I think like I've been caught in this, as so many people are, in the family court system of like basically legal abuse and financial abuse. And I didn't realize that I was being killed by 1,000 paper cuts financially. And until my dad like sat me down and he's like, I don't need to drown. Like, I just need to stay afloat. Like,
Right.
I don't need to, you know, like be Michael Phelps, like swimming, you know, world records and everything. I just need to stay afloat.
Yes.
And I was drowning. And so like, I think my dad, when he came and like sat me down and he said, you know, I'm going to take some of this financial burden off of you. And I'm like, absolutely not. No, you're not. I am an independent, strong woman. You are not doing shit for my kids. Those are my responsibilities, not yours, Dad. And he's like, no, that's not how this is going today.
Yes, Dad. What's your dad's first name?
Kevin.
Let's go. That's my cat's name, by the way. Great name. Yes, Kevin.
Oh my gosh. That's my sister's boyfriend's name too. It's kind of weird.
Did you let him help you?
Yeah. I didn't have a choice. And it was amazing. And
We love you,
because
Kevin.
of that,
I'm so grateful for your parents.
Oh, and my mom, she's been spending so much time at their condo in Florida, like basically retiring there in the winters. And I'm like, I really wish my mom was here. Anyways, she's like completely stepped up. Like, she's like a second mom to my kids. My kids told their teacher they have 3 houses: their mom's house, their dad's house, and their
Grandma's
Momo's
house.
house.
Yeah.
They truly believe
that's good.
that's their house. My parents have done everything that they can do in their power to help me like get in the place, you know, to propel myself where I am going to be the
And when you
happiest person.
stop
And they know that's not what
shouldering
they
all
have.
of it, when you know, carrying all of the luggage as you backpack across Europe, you're carrying all of the luggage. Your dad just gave you this opportunity to just put it all down.
I had
and
no
then
idea.
you recognize how like light and free, and it opens up this path for you to become the best version of
I
yourself.
told my parents that the other day. I'm like, I had no idea how heavy that was until you took it off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so lucky.
Yeah, you're not alone. You are not alone, and you are so loved.
Yes.
You are
Like,
so
thank
loved.
God.
And I
God,
think
where would I be otherwise?
Yeah, but we
Shit.
forget, we get on this path of we have to do it, all of us.
Yeah.
It's universal. Like, I can do it on my own. I can do it on my own. I have to fix this. I have to fix this. And that is a death wish for me.
We're tribal, species. Like, we're not meant to do things
I
alone.
need you. I need you, you know? We
Yes.
need each other.
I also think it's, that the extremes, sometimes we don't like to exist in the middle in terms of, so you have this experience where you feel like your needs are going to be met, in all ways, including financially. And then you go through your journey, and then you're like fiercely independent, which is beautiful too. But then when even someone safe, like, Kevin, your dad comes and is offering you assistance, sometimes
There's so much reluctance to say
rejection,
no.
rejection,
Why do we do
rejection of that. And I think it's really, we have to get our receivership straightened out again, right? That I deserve to receive. I deserve help. And I think sometimes we build up walls against that because it somehow it feels safer.
I don't know.
Or maybe we think we're not worthy of it.
Very much
That's it.
that. Mm-hmm.
But
Because
you
that's
are
like
worthy.
that's acknowledging that like you should be loved to that,
Yes.
like that you're I'm acknowledging my parents' sacrifice in helping me to give me a gift. Like if I accept that for myself, it seems like a big thing that means like I must love myself as much as they do.
That's
or
it.
something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
a
think that
scary place.
worthiness. Yes. Yep. So
We all need those people in our lives too. And we were talking earlier about that, like who those people are in our lives that call us on our shit and that are there to catch us when we fall, help pick us back up.
But still like hold you accountable.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And they're still going to be there. Like you were saying, they're still going to be there.
Yeah. Even when I fuck up.
Yeah. Like my best friend is she's the lawyer I was telling you about, and she's very by the book, and I'm very fly by the seat of my pants, like free spirit.
That's why I love you.
And she's like rule follower. I'm like, you're so boring. And she would do anything for me. Oh, this is a perfect story. We were like out one night, in our 20s or something, and we're at this tight little club, and somebody, like some man, just like grabbed my crotch. Okay. So I turn
Remember that happened
around
to me at the W. Yeah.
Ooh.
So you turned around.
and I smacked this guy, right?
Yep.
Smacked the shit out of him,
Yes.
as one would do. And my friend Abby, the total rule follower, does not shit disturber. She saw me and she clocked him.
Oh, we are ready.
Just know what
right fist. Yep. Okay, I like Abby.
So yeah, it's that kind of friend. Like, she's a rule
Has your
follower
back,
unless somebody's
literally.
fucking with me.
Yeah.
Unless.
Yes.
Amazing.
So yeah, I'm lucky to have her too.
So sitting here today, what would you tell your younger self, looking back where you sit today?
God, I
If
wouldn't
you
believe
could-
whatever I told
know,
myself.
I know you wouldn't, and
I would.
it's an odd question to even think about because you just have to experience it all to get here.
A psychic one time told me that there's only two things that God wants for us to achieve in our lifetimes. It's to not hurt yourself or others and to be happy. And the be happy one really gets me because it's not, follow this path
Right.
like I thought, the path to happiness. It's following my heart. And so that's what I would tell my younger self. Follow your heart and be happy in your heart and not, whatever expectations of your family or society or anything have on you.
And then I also like the question of what would your future self want you to know?
Like, wait.
So like thinking about it from the perspective of, I think so often, at least for me, like there are things I bump up against where, you know, maybe I'm not willing to take the risk, or maybe I'm not willing to do the work, or maybe I'm still like being avoidant of some areas that I need to look at. And what will help me do it anyways is I'm like, okay, if I don't have the goods to do this right now for myself, let me do it for my future self. So often I'll have dialogue with my future self and be like, I'm fucking this shit up right now in the present. What do I need to be?
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant.
I've never heard
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Yeah, so I turn it over to her.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
So instead of with WWJD, I'm like, what, you know, what would she do? What would she want me to do in
Your
this
future
moment?
self.
Oh my
My
gosh,
future
that's
self.
so
I know, because
good.
I often always think about taking care of my
In the
inner
past.
child.
Same.
I got you. So I like that idea of
Yeah, and
projecting into
I
the
do
unknown
too.
future in that way.
That feels like more control too. I like control.
Right.
I love it.
Which is such an illusion, though.
It's such an illusion.
Isn't it? But
It's
I mean,
it's a complete illusion.
I'm
but
a
like,
control freak too.
if I have it, I still feel better. I don't know.
I know. I know. So,
Yeah, she's a dirty mistress control.
dirty mistress. But flip the script. I like that. Thinking
do
about my
too.
future self.
Because maybe I don't believe in myself enough in this moment, or maybe I can't, I don't know, maybe I'm struggling with worthiness in the moment. But like when I think about, you know, my future self and how she wants to be feeling and what kind of life she wants to have, I know that I need to act according
Today.
for her, right? And so even if I can't choose it for myself today, I try to stretch myself based on
That is so good. I love that.
And
nugget.
by the way,
Thank you
I
for
think
sharing
that is the way that we truly unconsciously manifest our lives.
Oh, I think you're
we
right.
create our own realities. So maybe we should be real intentional about our
Yes.
future selves.
Right.
Because we are, whether we know it or not, creating her.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the three of us are sitting here today, and we get to like really harness that. Because I never thought about that
Because she exists already.
in that way.
She
She exists already.
She exists already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it in that way. So what do you want? What do we want to tell her?
It also feels like whatever happens, you know, between now and the future self that you're manifesting is meant to happen. Like you can weather it because you're going to get there.
Yeah, that radical acceptance.
Yeah.
that
It
we
just
hear
feels
about.
good. Like it feels like life isn't happening to you. You know, you're doing life.
Creating it.
You're creating it.
So I guess I'm sitting across from you. I want to know, because you give off like this really yummy energy, and I want to know.
Yes, she does.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and I want to know, like, how hard are you on yourself? Like, how much self-judgment do you have?
A lot.
Yeah.
In this space right now, today, I have a lot. And I know where it's coming from. It's coming from my narcissistic ex-husband and like the doubt that I have inside myself because of years and years of gaslighting that continues to this day.
We talked about that this morning.
And I got a message yesterday from him that was like total gaslighting, and it was basically like saying, you know, how I'm a bad mom kind of thing, right? And I know I'm not a bad mom, but like now I've just been ruminating. Am I a bad mom?
Yeah.
And this is just, I mean, this is 101 level, right? Like this is basic shit. But it's that. So yeah, I do have like a lot of self. I'm hard on myself. And I want that to improve. I really want to work on that.
Yep. I think that's.
I'm getting there. And you know what? I think I am at the place like
not
I know
perfection.
that I'm not perfect, and I'm okay with that. Like I'm good with saying I don't want to work on this right now, so I'm just going to be in this space. Or I am. You know?
Compartmentalize really well.
She can compartmentalize.
No other.
Yeah.
But it's there, and it'll be ready.
It'll be ready when I'm ready to unpack it.
Exactly.
I see that it's there. Yeah. So
and I think
that's okay.
But I've always said that awareness is kind of the biggest step that there is because if I don't know that something is a problem, or if there's a little part of me that may be holding me back, or I'm, insecure about something, I just didn't even know. So once I bring it into the consciousness, I know it's there. I might not be ready to deal with it.
Right.
So you table it, compartmentalize it, come back, pick it up when I'm ready.
Again, that feels like control, Yeah. I like that.
What's been most helpful to you over, in terms of your healing and moving forward?
I think like probably the biggest thing for me, I mean, I've done like a lot of different modalities for healing. And I think probably the most beneficial is breath work.
Okay.
It like really allows me to remain present more than meditation because I'm focusing on my breath.
Sure.
And so I can like really get into that state of like, I've started to understand that my nervous system really hasn't found like a whole lot of rest in the last decade.
I know something about that.
And so I'm working to get there. And I think the way to do it for me has been to be present in the moment, which is like freaking impossible. My parents like stepping up in the ways that they have really allowed me to be a better mother because I'm happier in the moment. I'm just present. And I don't have expectations of, tomorrow or 10 years from now. I'm just like, things are good today. I'm happy with things today and my children, and today's going to be a good day, and I can
Just
handle
for
that
today.
And tomorrow's a different day.
Yeah.
Just be in that day with them.
Bite-sized chunks of life.
That's been so helpful, yes, because I'm always planning the next thing. Like, am I going to get married? Am I going to live here or there?
Yeah, what's going to happen next?
I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter. Today's today. It's all that matters.
But our lives, if we're looking at it kind of as a reality show perspective, our lives, I want to keep coming back to my life to see what happens next.
Yeah.
Right? Because it shocks the shit out of me.
You have had a journey, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have.
You've written a good life book so far.
Thank you.
Yeah. I can't wait to keep reading it.
I know,
It's
me
a good
too.
one. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. And tell that future self that it's all going to be amazing. I heard you say that, God wants you to have two things. And one of them was that word happy.
Be happy.
And when you said that, I just kind of it felt like an exhale in my body. My shoulders sort of dropped, and that word happy can be sort of odd and elusive, right? But it felt like peace.
Yeah.
It just felt like peace. And that's what I want. Is I want peace.
I'm going to tell you my wish. I did a wish in the wishing well at my hotel yesterday.
Yeah.
And I wished for peace.
Oh.
I did.
Just that calm settlement of our nervous system to know you're safe, you're okay, you're held, you're enough, all of those things. And that is true. It's true, Meghan, for both of us. It's true.
What does peace feel like for you? Or what do you imagine it would feel like?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it feels like nothing, which sounds awesome.
I know. It's
The
like,
absence of feeling.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, she's my girl. There's so much to that bliss,
Yeah.
the nothingness.
Yeah.
That tells me
Just
that
be.
that tells me that your nervous system is for sure, just dysregulated. Yeah.
It definitely is.
Because I
You
think
can ask my
sometimes
Aura ring.
I think we have proof, we have objective data, we see it. But yeah, I think
I love you.
I think peace is actually like is a very alive feeling, and I think dissociation is the nothingness that you two motherfuckers go after sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, in the meantime, maybe a little disassociation might do the trick, the peace trick. Yeah, take what you get.
That's amazing.
I'm just saying.
Fuck you.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll work on that tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. It's compartmentalized. It's over there.
Pack
I
that
see
up.
it. I brought that into my awareness. It's over there. It's got it.
Right.
That's hilarious.
That is.
God, you guys. So good.
What brings you joy? What do you love?
I freaking love my kids. Like
I know. I knew you were
love,
gonna say that.
like I just love them. They're awesome.
And it's only going to get better.
Yeah,
It gets better
like,
and better as they age.
it's getting so much better. Like I'm obsessed with them, and it's not easy, right? Like,
Yes.
but it's been
Nothing is
it's
easy
like my
about
most
motherhood.
rewarding path
Ugh.
that I didn't know would, I don't know that I would have had 3 kids if I could have gone back and done it. And not to say I don't want my children, you know that, but like, I don't know. I had them because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. I checked that box,
I
right?
see. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that I would have done the same thing, but they're here
I-
and I like them.
Yeah.
And I like
Thank
them.
God.
I
want-
want to say that I think you're bringing up something that's so important around motherhood, because again, there's like this fantasy idea of what motherhood is like, and then there's the reality. And I think sometimes that we do ourselves such
total
a disservice
disservice.
as women by not talking about
How fucking hard it
the
is.
challenges of it, by not, and I felt like I would, so my daughter's 19 now and loving life and so happy for her. But as a child, so I see kids and adults, but as a child psychiatrist, I really felt like I had to have that shit
Locked
fucking
in.
dialed
Yeah, I bet.
dialed in. So there was so much pressure of myself. And then there were things that were happening that I felt I didn't share even with people that I loved, that loved me, because I felt a sense of shame or embarrassment around it. I mean, I can think like so clearly. I don't remember what the deal was. She was like 3 and like irritating the crap out of me. And I wanted her to know that I wasn't happy with her behavior, whether right or wrong. That's just how I was all fired up in the moment, right? And so I was trying to convey that, and she did not give 2 shits.
Yeah.
She was like happy as like a fucking lark. I was miserable, and I grabbed her little favorite stuffed animal, which the
did
technical
you torch it?
the technical term for that is a transitional object. So
gotcha.
I took her little stuffed animal.
Oh.
I did this. I took it in front of her.
Oh, wow.
And
I love this
I
about you.
marched.
I
We
love
we
this
went
about
into
you.
the kitchen.
Okay.
The transitional object. Little Jordan.
Yep. She's 3.
Child psychiatrist. What's up? And I
love this story.
I threw that shit in the garbage in front of her.
Yeah.
And that got her.
It got her. You got her.
I applaud that.
How did it feel? Did it feel good?
I felt so powerful. And
Yeah,
for about
I
10
showed
seconds.
you.
Exactly, for about 10 seconds. And then she's crying, and then I'm crying.
Oh yeah,
and
you're
then-
like, what did I just do?
But you
Motherhood.
Because this is
There it
motherhood.
is,
Yeah,
wrapped
right
up in
there.
a
By the
big
way,
bow.
are we reacting like we did something weird or strange? No, because it's called motherhood, like you said, Heather.
I would have done something more with it, but
Ripped
in
his head
front of the child.
For real.
But we don't talk about the struggles enough. And I think that's what leads to this shame, or like this looping of, am I a bad mother? What am I? Da, 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 da. But I think if we created like a
Yeah,
platform.
fuck that text yesterday. You are an incredible mother.
No, I mean, it's like
we
all
are.
the time,
We are
but-
incredible women, and we are incredible mothers.
The people say to me, well, at least you have your kids, right? Like from your ex-husband, like at least you got your kids out of it. I don't ascribe
Yeah,
to
I
that.
hate
And I
that.
don't. And I'm like, but I feel like, our souls are energy, and like we can manifest it in all sorts of ways. I'm like, no, my kids would have still existed. It might not look the same,
Exactly.
or what? Like,
Yep.
what are you talking
I
about?
think the same way. I really do. It's almost like when people who are grieving and somebody says to them, everything happens for a reason,
Oh no.
or they're in a better
Oh,
place.
yes.
They're with God. Like,
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
no. So at least you have your kids.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck you.
Well, that's code for be grateful.
Yeah.
That's what that's
Isn't it? And then
what
that's
that
like
is.
toxic positivity. Just like
Exactly.
make
It
a gratitude
is.
list, Megan. Make a gratitude list. You're going to feel better about that. You are a
So-
great mother.
It's, those are all condescending things to say
No
to people.
shit.
Like now hearing it, it's
Yes.
and people think
So
they're
let's-
being helpful,
Let's
but
not do
that.
that. Let's not do that. Let's not do that anymore.
Totally.
no, we're not. We don't need to find other people's silver linings for them.
Right.
They can handle that on their
That's
own.
a great quote. That's so good. Yep. Because so often that's what happens. Even when we try to express
It is.
a struggle, like how quickly people want to make us feel better about it.
Instead of just
Right.
being in that space until
Just
you're
like
through
let
it.
you work, like sit in it for a second. Why do we want to pull everybody out?
Yes.
So they need to be there.
Everybody's a rescuer, I guess.
Well, and
Gives us purpose.
they don't want to. Also, I
Makes
think,
me feel good.
Yeah.
If I help you.
Mm-hmm.
and also let's get more comfortable with being uncomfortable, right?
Well, that sucks.
We don't have to. Oh my God, you guys.
Oh, it's okay. Life. I'm taking notes.
Can I just
More.
disassociate?
Yeah,
That's
exactly. You guys are going. You two go.
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Compartmentalize that for a
I'll
minute.
just sit in
We're
my heart
learning
feelings.
a lot about ourselves
Yeah.
as we go along, one day at a time.
Oh, gosh.
Just for today, though. It's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Heather will sometimes say to me, "It's all going to be okay, right?"
Yeah, all the time. All the time. Even if I'm not like distressed, I'm like, I kind of look around.
Yes.
It's gonna be okay.
It's all going to be
gonna be
okay, right? Like, what the fuck is happening?
I'm at this bachelorette party right now with this woman who I met at the it's called the Napa Center. It's an acronym, and it's in Los Angeles. It's a therapy place, intensive physical therapy place,
Okay.
all kinds of therapy for kids, right?
Okay.
Most of these kids have cerebral palsy or some sort of physical limitation like that resembles that. And so I met the bride at this Napa therapy, and then another mom there at this Napa therapy, right? They both have children who are severely disabled with cerebral palsy and other comorbidities and things like that happen. And they are just, it's so cool to see how they haven't allowed their child's disability, first of all, to define their identity. That's tough because you do anything for your child, right?
Yep.
And so to still have an identity outside of throwing yourself into like saving your kid and giving them the best life possible, that's a hard thing to do. And these two women work out so they can carry their sons, It's like, it makes me feel emotional to see how incredible like these mothers are and these people that I have the pleasure to hang out with and be inspired by. But like, it just goes to what is happiness, right? And what is being okay and what is peace? Well, when you have a severely disabled child who's it changes everything that you do and think for the rest of your life. I mean, and you're still happy, that is like the ultimate gift you can give yourself. Like, you have gone through the shittiest time and you're still okay. Well, why? You have to be, because you have to be. There's no other choice. There's no other way out. And so you can either choose to survive, or you can figure out how to thrive in that space. And it's been so cool to see them. And we're just like hanging out, letting loose. We don't need to speak in like PC talk or whatever. We're just us.
Yeah. And your kids benefit from that too. You become a better mother.
Yeah, of course.
Just by not pretending, by having women like that in your life.
And this, like the bond, I mean, because to be able to speak freely about like your child's limitations with other people who get it and aren't looking at you like, oh God, that's horrible. I mean, it is. And you might hear that every now and then, or like, oh, that's tough. But it's mainly just like a lot of validation, like, oh yeah, okay.
How is Hart's
feels normal.
Yeah, it feels normal. How has Hart's diagnosis affected the other two kids and the way that you parent all three?
A lot, significantly. Yeah, it's I kind of parent them like triplets because they're so close in age. And Aspen's 7 and the twins are 6.
7? Okay.
They're 18 months apart.
Got it.
And
you're busy.
I'm busy. It's tough because sometimes the other kids aren't able to do things that they should have been able to do because a heart has a consequence, or maybe like I can't spend one-on-one time with them, or there's a lot of our house is tense a lot of the time because there's a lot of screaming that happens, a lot of like mean words with the children sometimes. Like it's tough, like little kids, it's tough on them, but they also know their brothers he's unique, right?
Yeah,
So they recognize that and they protect him. And I don't know that I know how his, disability has affected the family, but I don't think any of them know.
Sure.
It's
just their
their life.
existence.
Yeah.
It's their life.
And it's my life too, so and also it's like my kids are so empathetic toward children with disabilities. Like I don't even think they recognize like that a wheelchair, it looks strange or something.
That's amazing.
It's wild. And I went on a field trip with my son, my neurotypical child, and we were eating lunch and he chose to sit down at a table with a child who had a disability. That it was just the two of us at the table. And this child with a disability clearly had some like behavioral issues. And my son is just totally unfazed. And then like another kid who had a para came and sat at our table too. And like Hayes just, okay, whatever.
Right.
I would never do that if I was a kid. I'd be like, too uncomfy,
You'd ask questions, you'd be staring.
And like this girl was disruptive. And so I would not want to be around
perspective, like you said, empathetic.
And my son is disruptive. And so like it's kind of become like something they're okay with, I guess.
Okay.
But in the best way possible. Yeah. And like Hart my son isn't trying to necessarily be disruptive, because he sometimes will say to me like, Mommy, I didn't want to hit, but I couldn't help it kind of thing, which is just, it's so sad.
What kind of support do you have for him right now?
Well, gosh, we do. He has a full-time para at school, which is amazing. And public school system, I just would want to bow at the feet of the special school district.
So I think a lot of people might not even know what that is.
Special school?
No, para.
Oh, a para. It's an aide. It's a full-time aide. Yeah, like a teacher's aide, but just for my son.
Offered in the public school system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's paid for by our
Support your
taxes.
public schools.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yes.
Because private school couldn't accommodate him,
No, they
and
wouldn't.
so public can, and it's amazing. And so he has that. All three of my kids go to play therapy, talk therapy, which is honestly like it's tough for me because it's 3 hours every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And the dad is like, they don't need it, or you gave it to them. Like that's why they have to go to therapy because of what you did to them, not what I did. So like I'm not helping with therapy. So that's like the kind of thing I'm up against, and like the gaslighting and stuff. Because I'm like, how do I help my children in the best way possible, but like also not think that I'm the problem. Because I am, right? We all are, but it's not just me. Anyways, so we do that, and
I think play therapy,
family.
I think play therapy is so important, and because lots of times people are like, how do you do play? What do you mean play therapy? But kids can express themselves through play, and you can learn so much about what's
It's almost a Montessori approach to a lot of things too. I mean, it's much more intentional in a therapeutic setting.
Well, you can learn so much about what they're struggling with and what's going on in an unconscious way through the play therapy versus, talk.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so much better for kids. And
They
you
love
as a
it.
child psychiatrist would know.
I know. I need to. I just got referred to a bunch of child psychiatrists. I need to like start tackling that.
So you got the therapy. He's got help at school.
Therapy, help at school. I mean, and then just family. Honestly, like probably his best form of physical therapy is keeping up with the siblings.
Totally.
Yeah, and they're cool. Like they're cool with him. Like with accommodating each other and helping each other. But they are so lucky to have each other. Like at least I gave them the gift of each other.
Sure.
If I did nothing else right.
We're both one and done. So we know nothing about the world of three kids.
Yeah, it's
one and done.
We're like a swarm.
Right. Jordan's making up for it now in the sorority house.
Yeah,
it's like
a little bit.
Oh, really? Is it a lot for her?
No, she loves it. She really missed that, having like that built-in sibling community. So
yeah.
She's got her sisters.
What sorority is she in?
Sigma Kappa.
I've never heard of that one.
Michigan.
It sounds.
Where did you go to school?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Kappa Gamma.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Kappa Gamma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't realize you went to Ole Miss.
Yeah, and I Ole Miss in 2003, and again, you know, I told you like how I felt so strongly about gay marriage when I was 12, right? I go to all-girl high school, Catholic high school, everything, and then I go to Ole Miss, my first public school experience. I'm so excited, rah, rah. I can't wait to like do all the things. And just like be a sorority girl and like
Kappa Kappa Gamma.
And my girlfriend invited me to a dance that she was having. She also went to an all-girl high school. That's what we did. We would invite all girls to our dances. And because sometimes we had friends that went somewhere else, right? A different school, we want them at our party. So I go to this dance with her, and I'm at the sorority house, and we're excited. And the president comes out, and she's like, "You can't go to the dance." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" Yeah. She's like, I'm like, she's like, "You're a girl. You can't go to this dance." And I was like, "Wait, I'm sorry." I was shocked.
So confused.
She said it was because of like insurance reasons. And then I was like, that doesn't even make sense. And then she goes, "You know what? You can go as long as you tell me that you're not a lesbian." And I go, "That's not your business. I'm not telling you anything. It's not your business."
That's wild.
And she was like,
wild.
"And I'm calling the police. This is private property. Get off." I was like, I cried all the way home to my dorm. I'm like, I don't want to be an accidental advocate. And now I'm here in this place and I have to take a stand. And all I wanted to do is go to a sorority party. So then I had to go to chapter or standards, and they made me apologize to this bitch. And
you are amazing.
I said, I'm not sorry.
I have nothing to be sorry for.
So I wrote a note that said, I'm sorry if, you know, I offended you, in like size 10 font and it like to and from, like it was so offensive.
You had your mea culpa moment.
Yeah. And then
Meghan style.
That's right.
What did you say? I don't want to be an unintentional advocate. That's so good.
Accidental advocate.
Because we do find ourselves in that situation all the time.
But then my sorority said, "Oh, no, you can't take girls to the dances either." And I'm like, I can't be a part of an organization that's discriminatory. So now you're forcing me to quit my sorority. And all I wanted to do was be an Ole Miss sorority girl.
I love
so
it.
Good.
Yeah. I'm like, I just want to be like, I just want to party and fit in, but like, don't mind your own business. Leave me alone.
Don't box me in. Let people just be. How hard is that?
Why do people care?
Why do people care? It confuses me.
Keep your projections off of me.
Whatever they happen to be.
Right, whatever they are.
So my go-to in regards to all of that with social issues or things that are obviously way important is that if you don't like listening to Howard Stern, don't fucking listen.
Then don't do it.
It's that easy. Yeah. Apply that across the board.
Same with like parenting. I think again, like going back to the motherhood things, we can like judge other people's, you know, parenting methods so easily. And it's like, how is that serving you?
God. We are all just doing the best that we can do.
I also think, and I don't quite know how to articulate this well, so I can reframe if I need to, but I know a lot of moms, you know, when I'm working with their kiddos that have behavioral issues, there's so much extra judgment. So people are applying kind of average like parenting techniques, what might work for their neurotypical child when you're trying to help your kiddo that is having, you know, a unique set of struggles. And that can be very isolating for that mom, right? Because they feel like their friends are just giving them, well, when I put my kid in timeout, everything's fine. Or when I do this, like it works fine.
Do you
like,
feel seen right now?
Why are you not?
Yes.
Why are you not just doing that? Like get control of your kid or whatever the the misconception is, and that feels like a very lonely, isolating role.
Horrible. It's horrible. I recently did the little soul searching, and I asked myself like, why do my friends always do play dates and like have wine with their friends and I don't do that? It's because like it's not a typical experience. Then it's stressful to me, and my son is dysregulated and he's out of his routine and then he's acting out, and I'm worried about the other kids around. And then the moms or the other parents are like, why can't you get this kid under control? Like I can see it in their eyes because Hart looks quote unquote normal, right? And so it's like, well, why isn't he acting quote unquote normal?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I don't know. I don't have a diagnosis here. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just dealing with my own child. And then it's like I'm like gaslit.
And then it takes you right back to that. Yes.
Yeah. It's tough. But it's like, it's nice to know, to kind of be emerging from the fog to see things with a little bit more clarity.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Emerging from the clouds and getting
Waking
more
up.
clarity. Waking up.
Waking up.
Thank you.
This is so fun.
Thank
guys.
you.
This has been amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't even do an intro at the very beginning. We just started recording. So
Let you do the intro.
Rolled right
since
on
y'all know
in.
each other.
I love her.
Yeah, I could
What
see.
kind of intro
I could
do you
see
want?
why.
Oh.
Meghan King is here visiting with us. So thanks just for showing up with your authentic self, with the best version of yourself. I think that we bring that out in each other. So thank you for that.
Such good energy here. This has been awesome to share this space with you guys and have a intentional, deep chat, get to know
Right?
myself and you guys.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Feels good.
And thanks for taking time out, of your weekend. Seriously, though, it means a lot. So
It
we're
does. We
happy
try to
receive
take 3
you.
takeaways. We've started that with the end of each episode, like 3 takeaways that you want any of our listeners to know
Me? Oh.
about your share.
I would say, like, first takeaway is, don't live in fantasy land. Create the actual reality that you deserve, not what you think or other people are telling you.
Yeah, I definitely heard you say that. Great reminder.
That is a great, it's still a great reminder.
Yeah. And then I also heard you say, too, my big takeaway, the mothering aspect.
Yes.
Like, let's talk about the realities of it all, just not how perfect you want it to look on Instagram,
Bingo.
right? Like that it's real and it's hard work and you are enough and you're a great mother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And third, I would say, let's not rush to find a silver lining in
Oh,
the
that
things
was the
that are
best.
hard.
Yeah, I want that nugget of a takeaway.
I like that too.
Big time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Megan.
I love you, Meghan King.
Thanks, guys. I love you too.
Mwah.
Mwah.